Okay, the sound on my PowerPoint's not going to work, but that's like a cracking of the whip with the anyways.
Yeah, I got it.
In my church, that's what my pastor's wife is also the head of the youth committee. She calls the girls who are willing to ask Gucci's, just in case you don't know what that is. My project was to create a teen support group for all the girls in the church who were having issues in the sex area. Okay, and so in the past year and a half, this has all happened in my church. And most of the girls that were impregnated, this was like not the first time they got pregnant and decided to do whatever they decided to do with the child. I know this because most of these girls I grew up with and I babysat them for a few years. Don't know what happened. Obviously they didn't get educated on safe sex. I've researched other programs and how they went ahead and tried to prevent teen pregnancies and safe sex, and I came up with these reasons for why they might be pregnant. The ones that are really common in my church are the familiar environment. A lot of the girls that are pregnant, they don't get along with their parents and they tend to run away and they're staying with like their aunt or their uncle, and they don't have any goals for the future. A lot of them actually dropped out of college, high school in like the past year or two. So I think that probably plays a really great role in why a lot of them became pregnant. Okay, and so my pastor in his sermon, he wanted to speak to the congregation and he decided that this was a teen crisis and that something needed to be done to it. So he turned the problem over to the youth committee and said that they needed to act on this teen crisis. Then nothing happened, because that's usually what happens in my church. After 6 months, the youth committee on First Ladies' Day then decided to charge the issue to the women's ministry. The women's ministry hasn't had a meeting in like 8 months because they can't seem to get organized enough to do so. And so it's now been 4 months since they've charged the women's ministry with the and nothing's happened. Okay, and so in assessing why nothing has happened, I was looking through the Northouse book, and Hill's model came up, and like she takes from a few other people and how to like do the whole leadership, team leadership thing, and what's actually working and what's not. I think for my church, the problem comes with internal leadership actions as opposed to external leadership actions. When my pastor gave the charge to the specific committees, he never said what they should do. He just said that it's an issue and you need to fix it. He didn't give them details, he didn't give them a timeline, and he did not follow up. Okay. And then things that really affect how your team works. I looked these up as well, and they're also in, I think it's our Posner one or something, one of our readings. The problem, I think, I'm going to go back. The problem with my church is consistency. They'll have a great idea and they'll start something, but nothing comes about. And everyone is, on their high horse, so they don't want to listen to anyone below them. So there's not much collaboration going on. Also, most of the people in my church are full-time workers, and so this issue's not so much a priority to them. Okay, and so after thinking about the problem, I came up with the idea of creating a support group because when Gloria White Hammond came, she had created a group for her church about that helped high-risk teens and teen pregnancy and all of that, and so I wanted to create a group that would make sure these girls had a space to like voice their opinions without being judged by the church, and felt comfortable receiving information on sex and like asking questions, because that's obviously a problem. There's no communication in the church. I gave my response to the pastor, and he told me that I had to wait for the youth committee, and then I spoke to the youth committee, and they told me I had to wait for the women's ministry. Instead of having Thanksgiving with my family, went to the pastor's house so that I could ask him about this, and he spoke in like abstract ideas, and so basically I was like, never mind, I'll do it without you. So, that's okay. And these are the possible reasons why, A, I want to injure my pastor, and B, why nothing has been done. I think that my pastor is not challenging the process, and that he's not looking outside of the youth committee group and the women's ministry to help address this issue of teen pregnancy in our church. And he's not really willing to let everyone shop for ideas and bring their ideas to him. You can bring your idea and he'll say that he'll respond, but we've seen that he has not responded 2 months after I've given him my proposal. I think that, that goes along with fostering collaboration. He lacks the skill of listening to talking ratio, being in favor of listening, and he'd much rather talk, and maybe he doesn't want to encourage premarital sex. I don't really know what I should do now about it, so I'm asking you.